I caught my husband lying about his business trips. He wasn't cheating, but it was worse. He said he was in Singapore on a business trip. But I followed him, and what I discovered made me wish he was cheating. Asterisk, my husband was supposed to be in Singapore. That's what he told me. A 5-day conference. Tech summit that all executives. No spouses allowed. I didn't question it. Not until I saw the hotel charge that it was from a hotel in Dubai, not Singapore, and it was dated 2 nights ago. That's when everything changed. Let me rewind. I'm Amara, 33, married to Ibrahim for 8 years. He's a software executive, tall, polished, very routine. Business trips were part of the package. He'd always tell me ahead of time. Book his flights, pack perfectly, share his hotel itinerary, but this time, he was vague. Really vague. The night before the trip I asked, which hotel are you staying at? He smiled. Don't worry about it, babe. Company booked everything. It's in Marina Bay. I blinked. But you usually forward the details. He kissed my cheek. You trust me, right? I nodded. But something felt off. Then came that charge. I was checking our joint credit card, just to pay a bill. That's when I saw it. Hilton, downtown Dubai, 2 nights, 1 guest. I stared at it, heart pounding that my husband wasn't in Singapore. He was in Dubai. And he lied. I called him. The call rang and rang. Then he answered. Background noise. People? Music? Hey, sorry babe, busy here, conference is insane. I tried to stay calm. Oh really? How's Singapore? He paused. Hot, humid, you know how it is. I swallowed hard. Right, same as Dubai, huh? Silence, dead silence. Then static. Ibrahim. The line went dead. He didn't call back that night, or the next day. So I made a decision. I booked a flight to Dubai. I didn't know what I expected to find, but I knew I had to see for myself. Wasn't the kind of woman who waited around, not anymore. Landed at dawn. Hot wind. Crowded airport. Sweaty palms. I went straight to the hotel listed on the charge, Hilton, downtown Dubai. Walked to the front desk, tried to steady my voice. Hi, I'm looking for my husband. I believe he's staying here. I need to confirm something urgent. The woman typed politely. Name, Ibrahim Malik. Tap. Yes, room 1812. He checked in 3 nights ago. My chest tightened. He's here now? She nodded. I asked, is he alone? Applause. Her eyes hesitated. Then, we're not allowed to share guest details, but he only checked in under his name. Only him. Still, something wasn't right. So I went up. Floor 18. My heels echoed in the hallway. My heart thundered. I found room 1812. Took a deep breath. Knock. No. Answered. Again. Nothing. Just as I was turning away, the door opened. And I saw him, standing in sweatpants, holding a towel, looking stunned. Amara? I stared at him. You lied to me. He blinked. Eyes darting behind him. No, I mean, what are you doing here? I saw the hotel charge. You said Singapore. He opened his mouth, closed it, then sighed. Okay, come in. I stepped inside. What I saw wasn't what I expected. The room was messy, unusual for him. Clothes on the chair, laptop open on the desk, a small notebook filled with names. I glanced around. Are you alone? He hesitated. Then nodded. Blue quotes. Yes. I looked at him. Dead in the eye. Why lie? He ran a hand through his hair. I couldn't tell you. It wasn't cheating. I swear. I folded my arms. Then what? His voice dropped. I've been working with someone. Doing side contracts. What kind of contracts? He looked away. Not legal ones. My breath caught. What? He whispered. I'm laundering money. I stared at him. Felt like the floor vanished. You're, what? He nodded slowly. Eyes tired. I got involved with a guy 2 years ago. Started as a favor, moving money for tech clients. Why? He laughed bitterly. You think my salary covers all our bills? The house? Your mom's treatment? The 2 vacations every year? My voice cracked. So it's my fault? He looked away. I didn't say that. Then why? He whispered. Because I felt small, at work, at home, everywhere. I wanted control. I wanted power. I sat down. My knees felt weak. And why Dubai? He hesitated. This trip was a drop. A drop? Cash $500,000 in crypto wallets for a client. Who? He didn't answer. I can't say. It's dangerous. I stood up. Shaking. Double quotes. You could go to jail. You lied. To me. To everyone. He nodded. I know. But I'm done. After this was the last one. I shook my head. I don't even know who you are. He stepped closer. I'm still me. No, you're not. I walked out. Caught a cab to my hotel. Sat on the bed. Cried like I hadn't. In years, he wasn't cheating, but it was worse. He was a criminal. And he had dragged me into it. Without ever asking. The next morning, I checked our bank accounts. 3 of them were empty, completely drained. I called our investment guy. He answered. Sleepy, Amara. Weird time to call. Have you spoken to Ibrahim? Silence. Not in a month. Why? He said he had a meeting with you last week. Nope, not true. I hung up. Then I saw it. A notification. $70,000 withdrawal. From our shared business account. Labeled. LLC restructure. Transfer to MN Securities. I never approved that. I didn't even know we had an LLC. My heart raced. I opened our tax records. Scrolled. And found it. Company I didn't recognize. Filed under my name. My name, registered by him. Months ago. With forged documents. He had made me an accomplice. I called in. Voicemail. I texted. You need to come clean. Or I will. No reply. I called again. Then I got a message. Unknown number. Stop digging, or you'll regret it. My blood ran cold. I wasn't just married to a liar. I was now the front for something criminal, and people knew. People watching. Called a lawyer, then the police. Then I realized I wasn't safe. Not anymore. And Ibrahim? He was missing. Gone. Vanished. Just like the money. He disappeared. Ibrahim was just gone. No flight record. No hotel booking. No text. No call. Not even to our daughter. I tried his email. Voicemail. Nothing. Then the knock came. Police. Amara Malik. I stood frozen in the hotel hallway. 2 officers in plain clothes, badges out. Yes. We'd like to ask you some questions. May we come in? I let them in. They looked serious. One opened a folder. Your husband is under investigation. I know. For what exactly, ma'am? I hesitated. Then whispered. Money laundering, crypto, maybe fraud. They nodded. You aware you're listed on multiple accounts? I blinked. What? They showed me. Printouts. Bank statements. 5 businesses. All in my name. LLC, consulting, holding, property, and offshore accounts. I didn't sign any of that. The older officer frowned. Then why's your signature here? I leaned in. My heart sank. That wasn't my handwriting. He forged it. They exchanged a look. You'll need a lawyer. The next 48 hours were a blur. Interrogation. Panic. Paperwork. I learned Ibrahim had been under quiet investigation for over a year, but they couldn't pin anything until now. His disappearance triggered it all. And I was now considered a person of interest. My lawyer's name was Anaya, sharp, quick, didn't smile much. She sat across from me. You're in trouble. I didn't do anything. Doesn't matter. You're legally tied to multiple illegal entities. If we can't prove he forged it, I go to jail? She looked at me gently. Maybe. I wanted to scream. I called my mom, tried to explain. She started crying. My little girl, Noor, asked, Where's Baba? I said, On a long work trip. She frowned. He forgot my birthday. I had no answer. The next clue came from a journalist. Yes. A journalist. She emailed me. Subject line. Ibrahim Malik, you need to talk to me. Her name was Zoya. I ignored her at first. Then she sent photos, one of Ibrahim in Dubai, 2 weeks ago. Another, with a man I didn't recognize. And then a third photo of me leaving the hotel. The night I confronted him, the email said, I don't think you know who your husband really is. Please call me. This goes deeper than you think. I met her at a crowded cafe acute. She had a recorder and a thick file. You don't know me, Amara, but I've followed your husband for over a year. Why? He's part of something big. What kind of big? Political contracts, shell companies, weapon funds, terrorist pipelines. I laughed. No way, he's just a tech guy. She slid a document across. This is an arms deal. Linked to a company your husband manages. I read the name. It matched one of the forged LLCs. My name was on it. I felt sick. Zoya said, Someone is cleaning dirty money through his network. He's the broker. And now you're the shell. I stood up. I didn't sign anything. They don't care. Then help me. She looked surprised. I want to expose him. Help your story. Clear my name. She leaned forward. There's one way. Find his partner. Who? She whispered. His name is Mazen Rahil. Known as the accountant. He moves money through offshore routes. How do I find him? Zoya smiled. You don't, but he might find you if he thinks you're working with Ibrahim again. I froze. You want me to bait him? She nodded. It's the only shot we have. Anaya, my lawyer, was furious. This is insane. You're not trained, but it's the only way, she sighed. If you do this, I'll need you wired. Wired. Like in the movies. That I couldn't believe this was my life now. The plan was simple. I would create noise. Start asking questions. Post on niche forums. Contact old clients. Ibrahim used to mention and most of all look like I was continuing the business. I used a burner phone. Set up a fake email. Posted on a crypto message board. Mar, I need to move fast. Singapore roots hot. Need cleaner lane. Same percent cut. 2 days later, I got a reply from an encrypted address. It read, meet, Friday, 8 p.m., Pier 7 rooftop, come alone. My heart stopped. Friday came fast. I wore a wire, police nearby. Zoya watching. My lawyer pacing. I walked into the rooftop lounge. Crowded. Dim. Chatter everywhere. A man stepped forward. Suit. Clean shave. Dark glasses. Mrs. Malik? I nodded. He didn't offer a name, just sat down. You're not as dumb as they said. I smiled thinly, thanks. He slid over a flash drive, 250,000 in crypto. Move it by Monday, same wallet trail. I stared at it. I need confirmation. Ibrahim safe. He laughed. Safe. He's gone. I blinked. Gone. He leaned in. He ran off with the wrong wallet. Double-crossed our partners. I couldn't speak. He thought he could vanish, take the money. Start over. Where is he? He smiled. If I knew. You think I'd be here talking to you? I felt the blood drain from my face. He stood. You have 72 hours. Then he walked away. The police picked up everything. The recording. The flash drive. But Ibrahim was officially missing, possibly dead, or on the run. Either way, he had left me behind, holding the mess, holding the danger, holding a daughter who cried every night, asking when her father would come home. That night I stared at the flash drive. Police had copy, but I had the original. It pulsed in my hand, like it held secrets. Plugged it into an air-gap laptop. Opened the file. Inside, folder after folder. Code names, amounts, names I didn't recognize. And when I did, my name labeled, fail safe. I clicked it. Inside. The she turns terminate. My breath caught. They planned to kill me. I wasn't just a bystander. I was a loose end. I called Zoya. You need to publish this. I will, but don't get messy. I don't care. And I met it. Because now it wasn't about Ibrahim. It was about saving myself. And protecting Noor. Because I knew they would come for me next. I went into hiding. There was no other choice. After that flash drive, after reading terminate if she turns, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't risk Noor. So I disappeared. Zoya found me a safe house. A plain 2-room apartment. In a dull suburb. No view, no tech. Just silence. I brought Noor with me. Told her it was a special vacation. She missed her school. Missed her friends, but I couldn't tell her why we were hiding. Only that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes. They wear suits. Zoya kept checking in. Interpol's on it. They've issued alerts. Interpol, FBI, Dubai City all watching. But Ibrahim? Still gone. It was like he'd evaporated. Until one morning, I got a message. No name. Just 3 words. I'm still alive. My fingers wet numb. I stared at the screen. Then another message. I had to disappear. I'm sorry. I knew that number. It was his. I called. No answer. Just a voice message. His voice. Amara, if you got this, it means I'm being followed. I messed up. I was trying to fix things. But I made it worse. Please don't look for me. Protect Noor. Forget me. Forget him? How could I? He dragged me into this, ruined my name. My freedom. My entire life. Forget him? Never. I sent the recording to Zoya and the police. They traced. It bounced through 3 VPNs. Then nothing. He was still a ghost. And the threats? They didn't stop. Notes on the door. Stop digging. Last warning. A dead bird in the mailbox. I knew what that meant. They knew where I was. Anaya called me. I need you to testify. To who? A federal hearing. They think I'm guilty. They don't, but they need your voice. I said yes, because I was done hiding. I left Noor with my cousin, Samra, and flew to the capital. Met with federal agents. Showed them the flash drive again, the money trails the forged documents. They asked me everything. How Ibrahim started. When I found out. What I knew now. Hours passed. I cried once. Only once. Then I told them, if he's alive, I want him arrested. But part of me still loved him, or maybe I missed who I thought he was. That man I married, who brought me roses. Held me when I cried. Sang to Noor when she had nightmares. That man wasn't real, but the ache he left behind. That was the next twist. Came from Zoya. She sent a photo. I found something, call me now. It was blurry, but it was him. Ibrahim. In Pakistan. With a beard. Different haircut, selling rugs in a street shop, under the name Rafiq Khan. My jaw dropped. He's hiding, in plain sight, she replied. We're flying out. You coming? I said yes, because this had to end. Karachi was hot. Crowded. Loud. We moved quietly. Police in plain clothes. Zoya in her sunglasses. Me, a scarf and oversized jacket. Then we saw him, sitting on a stool. Counting money. Smiling. Like he hadn't ruined everything. I walked up. His back was turned. I said, Rafiq. He turned. And froze. His lips parted. Amara. Before he could speak, the police swarmed him. He didn't fight, didn't run. Just stared at me. Like I broke his heart. As if I was the betrayer. They cuffed him. Zoya took a photo. It made headlines. Fugitive financier caught in Karachi. His crimes were listed: wire fraud, money laundering, forgery, endangering a minor. Was cleared. My name wiped clean, but the damage still there. I visited him once. In jail, a glass wall between us. He looked thinner, older. Why? I asked. He shrugged. You wouldn't understand. Try me. I wanted power, freedom, respect, and money. You had us. He looked away. I thought it wasn't enough. He asked about Noor. I didn't answer. He asked about my heart. I told him it was gone. He said, you were always too good for me. And for once, he was right. Zoya's story broke records, podcasts, TV shows, articles. People called me brave, but I didn't feel brave. I felt tired. Broken. Wiser. I moved to a new city, got a job at a school, changed Noor's last name. In mine. We started over. Quietly. Peacefully. Without lies, without danger, without him. One night Noor asked, did Baba die? I said, no, but the man we thought he was, he's gone. She nodded. Then went back to coloring. Sometimes I miss him, the version of him I love. But then I remember, he left us. He used us. He lied. So I let go. Again and again, every single day, because the truth, it hurts. But living in lies, that would have killed me faster. It's been 3 months since Ibrahim arrest. 3 months of silence, peace, and pretending. Pretending I was okay. Pretending Noor was okay, but some nights, the nightmares came back. His voice, his lies, the police, the flash drive. I'd wake up, sweating, sometimes crying. And sometimes angry that I still missed him. One morning, I got a letter. No name, just a government seal. I opened it slowly. Inside, an invitation. To testify again. This time, at his trial. I wasn't ready, not really, but I knew I had to do it, for myself. For Noor. For closure. So I packed my things, kissed Noor goodbye. And flew to the capital again. Stayed in a guarded hotel. My lawyer Anaya met me. She looked at me across the room. You sure you're up for this? I nodded. I have to look him in the eye. She handed me a folder. Then let's go over what you're going to say. Court was cold. Huge. Cameras. Reporters. Federal agents. And then I saw him. Ibrahim. In handcuffs, dressed in beige prison clothes, hair longer, eyes darker, face pale. He looked like a stranger now. He didn't look at me. Not even once. I took the stand, swore under oath. And told them everything. From the first lie, to the hotel charge, to the flash drive, the safe house, and the betrayal. The room was silent. Only my voice echoed. I saw jurors nodding, some looking shocked. One wiped tears. I kept my eyes on the judge. Never on Ibrahim. Not until the very end. When I said, this man used me. He forged my name. He destroyed our family. He made me live in fear, and he would have kept lying if I hadn't found him. Then I looked straight at him. He finally looked back, eyes full of regret, but I didn't blink, I didn't flinch. Just said, and I will never forgive him. Outside the court, reporters swarmed. I didn't answer any questions. Anaya got me into a car. She held my hand. You did good. I didn't respond. I just wanted to disappear again. 2 weeks later, the verdict came. Guilty. On all charges. 23 counts. Sentenced to 40 years. No parole for the first 20. Read the article twice. Then deleted it. I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I just felt still. But that wasn't the end. Not yet. Because 2 days later Zoya called me. Her voice was tight. Amara, we need to meet. I met her at a bookstore. She sat me down. I don't know how to say this. Say it. There's another account. My stomach dropped. What kind of account? She pulled up a screen. A private offshore bank. In a small country I had never heard of. Over $5 million. Still active. Still untouched. And it's in your name. My mouth went dry. No, yes, I didn't open this. I know, but the account is tied to one of the shell companies he created. And you're listed as the beneficiary. Why now? Because the country is tightening regulations. And they notified the US Treasury. What happens now? They want to question you. Again? I wanted to scream. I thought it was over. I thought the trial was the end. But Ibrahim had left me with more secrets, more dirt, more danger. Zoya leaned in. There's something else. What? There's a note in the account record, typed, dated 1 month before he got caught. I stared at the screen. The note said, "For Noor, if anything happens to me, she deserves better than me." My breath caught. Zoya whispered, "I think he was planning to disappear and leave this money behind. For your daughter." I couldn't speak. That night, I sat alone in the hotel looking at the numbers on the screen. 5 million, blood money, stolen money, but net for Noor. I hated him, but I loved her and she deserved safety, education, a future. I picked up the phone called Anaya. What if I claimed it? She paused. You'll be watched, scrutinized, investigated again. Will I be arrested? Not if we prove you didn't know. And if I don't claim it, it'll be seized, gone, forever. I whispered, Noor deserves more. She said, then we'll fight again. And just like that, I was back in the storm. Lawyers, bankers, government agents. But this time, I wasn't scared, because I had truth on my side, and a daughter depending on me. I told Noor everything, not all the details, but the truth. She cried. She asked questions. Then she hugged me, and said, "You're the bravest mama ever." I didn't feel brave, but I held her tighter, and whispered, "I'll never let anyone hurt us again." The legal process dragged on. Weeks became months, but in the end, they cleared me, declared me an innocent beneficiary. They released the money, not all of it. But enough to start over, enough to give Noor the life I never had. I moved us again. To the coast, quiet place, good school. New name. I started a small cafe, named it after my daughter, Noor and Co. Bright, warm, full of light, just like her. One day, a man walked in, mid-30s, soft smile, ordered tea, watched me for a long time, then said, "You're Amara, aren't you?" I froze. He leaned in. "I knew Ibrahim years ago, at university." My stomach turned. "He talked about you. Said you were the best thing that ever happened to him." I stared at him. Then asked, "Did he ever say why he changed?" He paused. He never said it out loud, but I think he hated himself. Felt small. He thought money would make him matter. I nodded. And whispered, "It didn't." I never saw that man again. Maybe he was a ghost from the past, maybe a test. But that conversation reminded me this story wasn't just about crime. It was about pain. Pride. And the lies we tell ourselves. Noor turned 7 that spring. I threw her a party. All pink. All sparkles. She laughed more than she had in a year. And that night, she hugged me tight. "Will Baba come back one day?" I kissed her forehead. "No, sweetheart, but we're okay." She smiled, better than okay. And I knew she was right, because I had finally chosen truth. Peace. In life, even if it meant walking alone. Life was calm again. Mostly. Noor started school. Made new friends, called the beach her magic place. And me? I poured everything into the cafe. We had regulars, tourists, locals who smiled and stayed. But peace never stays long. It started with a box. No return address. Brown paper, taped shut. Sitting on the cafe's back step, I looked around. No one. I opened it slowly. Inside, a journal. Old, leather-bound, my name written on the first page, but not in my handwriting. I opened it. The first line read, "If you're reading this, Amara, then I'm already gone." It was Ibrahim's handwriting. My knees buckled. I sat down. Heart racing, hands shaking. The entry spanned 2 years. He wrote about money. About being watched. About falling in too deep. He wrote about Noor. How he used to hum to her while working late. How he bought her a toy every time he lied to me. As if gifts canceled guilt. He wrote, "I wanted to stop. But every time I tried, someone else owned me. I kept thinking one more deal. One more risk. And then I'd be free. But freedom is a lie when your soul is for sale." I kept reading. Hours passed. One entry broke me. "She will never forgive me. But if she finds this, maybe she understand. Not everything I did was out of greed. Some of it was fear. Some of it was desperation. I hope Noor never sees this. But if she does, tell her I loved her. Even when I was too broken to show it." I cried hard that night. Not for him, but for the girl I used to be. The girl who believed him, the wife who defended him, The mother who wanted to fix everything. Zoya came to visit the next day. I showed her the journal. She read quietly. Then said, "This is evidence." Of what? That he wasn't working alone. She pointed at an entry. "Mason wants me out. He says I've grown a conscience. If I vanish, check the safe house locker. The key is behind the blue book." I stared at her. "What locker?" "Let's find out." We drove back to the old city, to the dusty building where I once hid. The safe house. Same peeling walls. Same creaky steps. I hadn't returned since the trial. I still remembered the shelf. And the blue book. I reached behind it. And there it was, a small silver key. Zoya looked at me. "Locker 109? Yes, it was a storage unit across the street. We entered the facility. Used the key. Inside. A small metal box. We opened it together. Inside. A phone. An old laptop. And a sealed envelope. I tore it open. Bank records, photos, and a passport. Not Ibrahim's, but Mason Rahil's, with a different name, different face, but same eyes. Zoya whispered, "That's him. He's still out there." And then, the worst moment of my life, I got a call from Noor's school. "Amara, Noor's missing." My ears rang. What? She was here during lunch. Then, she didn't return from recess. I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened. Zoya grabbed my hand. "We're going, now." We drove like mad, ran into the school. Teachers looked pale. Police already there. I screamed, "Where is my daughter?" One officer said, "We're locking down the area." I couldn't think, couldn't see, only felt fire in my chest. Was this Mason, revenge, punishment? Zoya shook my shoulders. "Amara, think. Did she have any favorite places?" I gasped. "The beach. She calls it her magic place." We ran. Faster than ever, and there she was, sitting by the shore. Shoes off, twirling sand in her fingers, looking calm. Zoya fell to her knees. I ran to her, grabbed her. Held her like I'd never let go. She whispered, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to hear the waves." I was feeling sad. I kissed her head. Over and over. "You scared me. I didn't mean to. I thought someone took you." "Why would someone do that, Mama?" "Because they already tried. Because the world is cruel." But I didn't tell her that. I just said, "Because you're precious. And I love you too much." Back home, I held her hand all night. Every noise made me jump. The next morning, I added cameras, security. Told her, "No more going anywhere without Mama, okay?" She nodded. Zoya called me later. "Mason's trail is still warm. Interpol's tracking aliases. One popped up in Malaysia." I asked, "What happens if he's found?" "They'll arrest him. And maybe finally end this," I whispered. "Please." A week passed, then 2. Then 3. And then an anonymous tip. Zoya called me, breathless. "We got him. Singapore airport, trying to flee to South Africa." I sat down. Frozen. It was finally over. Mason was arrested, charged with conspiracy, fraud, and aiding Ibrahim Malik. I watched the footage. He looked calm. Cold. Unbothed. That like a man who thought he was smarter than the world. But this time, he lost. I was asked to testify again, this time against Mason. I agreed, because I wanted him to see that the woman he tried to silence refused to disappear. In court, I spoke calmly. Told the truth. Held up the journal, showed them his face in the passport. And said, "You thought you could bury us. But we rose." Zoya smiled. So did Anaya. The jury believed me. Maz. Ein got 25 years. Justice. Real this time. After court, Zoya and I sat in a cafe. She said, "You did it." I looked at the sky. "No, we did it." She laughed. Then said something I'll never forget. "Sometimes surviving is louder than revenge." I nodded. And whispered, "Now we get to live." That night, Noor and I walked by the ocean. She held my hand, asked me if we could get a puppy. I said maybe. She smiled. "Then everything really is good again." I kissed her forehead. And whispered, "Yes, baby. This time it really is." 6 months later. I almost felt normal again. No more court dates, no more interviews, no more threats. Just NOOR. In peace. The cafe was doing well. Noor was thriving at school, reading like a little scholar, laughing more than ever. We even a puppy. She named him Toffee. Small, loud, full of love. Like her. One evening, Zoya stopped by the cafe. She was in town for a seminar. Still sharp, still bold. She ordered a latte, then slid me a small envelope. No name, no return address. It was sent to my office. My stomach tightened. I opened it carefully. Inside, a USB drive. And a note. "This is the last thing. For Noor when she's older." I promise, it's safe. IMIBRHIM even now. He reached out? Zoya raised an eyebrow. You want to see what's on it? I nodded. We waited until Noor was asleep, plugged the drive into my old laptop, only one file. A VIDEO. I clicked. Ibrahim appeared. Older, weary, speaking softly. Amara? Noor, if you're watching this, it means you made it. You're safe, he smiled. I never deserved either of you. But I need Noor to know her father wasn't only a thief. I was also a man who once loved deeply, before I got lost. He looked straight at the camera. Noor, if you hate me, I understand. But please know, everything I left was meant for you. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to live freely, boldly, and kindly. He paused. Wiped the tear. Then sighed. Your mama is the strongest person I've ever known. If you grow up to be anything like her, you'll be unstoppable. The screen faded to black. I sat in silence. Zoya whispered, do you want to keep it? I nodded. Not for now, but one day. She deserves to decide. Days passed. Then weeks. One morning, while cleaning out storage at the cafe, I found something I hadn't seen before. A torn envelope behind an old baking tray. I almost threw it out, until I saw my name, written in Ibrahim's handwriting. I opened it slowly. Inside, a wedding ring. His and a folded note. Amara, if I could rewrite time, I would have stayed honest. You made me feel whole. And I threw it away, but this ring, I kept it all these years. Because part of me never stopped being yours. I stared at it for a long time. Then, I walked to the sea. Held the ring in my palm. Let the waves take it. One final goodbye. One night, Noor climbed into bed with me. She was quiet. I asked, what's wrong? She whispered, some kid said Baba was a bad guy. My heart cracked. I held her tight. He made bad choices. But that doesn't mean you're bad. You're kind. You're smart. You're you. She looked up. Do you think he loved me? I kissed her forehead. Yes, in the only way he knew how. She nodded. Then fell asleep, and I cried quietly. Into the dark, I wrote her a letter that night. One she read when she's 18. Dear Noor, life didn't go the way I planned. But loving you, that was always right. You came from two broken people, but you are whole, you are light. And no matter what happens, you are never, ever alone. I sealed it, labeled it, for when you need truth more than comfort. Years passed. Noor grew, smarter, braver, more curious. She asked less about Ibrahim, focused more on who she wanted to be. She wanted to be a teacher, then a vet, then a baker like me. I told her she could be everything. One afternoon, a woman came into the CFE acute, that mid-40s, tired eyes. Carrying a worn handbag, she ordered coffee. Stared at me too long, then said, you don't remember me, do you? I shook my head. She smiled sadly. I was Ibrahim's older cousin. He lived with us before college. He talked about you all the time. My heart froze. She took a breath. I came to say, he was broken long before you met him, but with you, he felt safe. He told me once, if Amara ever finds out what I did, I'll never forgive myself. I didn't know what to say. She took a sip of her coffee. I just wanted to say sorry. For all of it. And then she left. That night I sat with Noor on the porch. She looked at the stars. Said, do you think Baba's watching? I took a breath. Maybe, but more important, I'm watching. I'm here, always. She leaned her head on my shoulder. We didn't say anything else, just listened to the waves and felt the wind move past us. One day, she know everything. The lies, the truths, the mistakes, but she also know that I chose love over fear, truth over comfort, her over everything, and me. I've let go of the man who betrayed me, of the pain that nearly broke me, of the version of life I thought I needed. Because now, I have peace, I have Noor, and I have me. Stronger, wiser, free. Ibrahim's name faded from the news, from the court records, from the headlines, but he left behind a lesson. Not just about crime, but about worth, about how easy it is to lose yourself, and how hard it is to earn yourself back. I didn't save him, but I saved myself. And in doing that, I saved Noor. And sometimes, that's more than enough.